Yes, I am back. After a month hiatus, I am back on YouTube. Okay, this is going to be a Q&A for today, and this is going to be a Christmas edition, baby. Okay, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling pumped up, baby. Alright, a lot of people have been asking me, probably what's a lot of people going through a lot of questions through people's minds is that, where you been for the last month? What have you been doing for the last month? I mean, I've been getting comments on my page asking me why I haven't been posting videos, or either asking me, am I done with YouTube? Like, how's life going for you? I hope you can make YouTube videos soon. All of that. I want you to post another Q&A. I was really hoping to make another review, but since that a lot of people were asking me where I've been and they wanted me to do another Q&A for them, I figured I'd go and deliver this Christmas edition Q&A. Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year! Okay. But as you know, for the last month, I've been basically working in my new job. And as you know, and the thing is that I work evening shift. Yes, I work 3 to 11 shift, which is kind of hard to adjust, because especially when I was working 8 to 4 in my other job. So I have to kind of adjust to it. And maybe I might be able to make videos early and late in the evening, or early in the morning, around 12, 1 in the morning. I might make videos then. Right now I'm off. This is one of my days off, and this is just before the Christmas holiday. So I just wanted to put this quick video on out there just to give you all a little bit of a Christmas present from me, Jedite. And and since you know, I haven't really been home all that much. It's the reason why I haven't really been online. Maybe I've only gone online maybe like once or twice a week or so. You know, so I haven't really been online that much. So since I haven't been home that much, pretty much this has been getting the majority of my playtime. The good old Nintendo DS. And as you all know, and if any of you don't know, any of you retro gamers out there, definitely pick up this game. Contra 4. This game fucking owns. Spax told me about this. Another friend told me about this. They said this game was one of the best ones, and this game will kick your fucking ass, okay? Bet on it, okay? This game rubs it in your face that this game will kick your ass. Look at the in-game menus, okay? So if you have a DS and if you're a retro gamer like me, that's the one to get. The DS system is becoming the biggest system for retro gamers, you know? It's got Castlevania, it's got the new Super Mario Bros. On it, it's got Star Fox on there, you know? And I've been playing all these games, basically. I've been basically playing Portia Ruin, like I pretty much just finished that. Star Fox Command, I'm just still playing on that. So I haven't really been having that many time to dedicate to games, really. So I've been pretty much having this on the go, and just been playing the shit out of this, basically. Okay? So that was just a little bit of an update. I've been doing good with my new job. I'm getting the hang of things, you know. And the thing is that after I get off work, I'm just tired. I haven't really had much time to really devote to videos, actually. Maybe after a while, maybe I want to get adjusted to the new schedule. I'll be able to put out some new reviews and some new videos. So I definitely deeply apologize for that. Okay? So let's get this Q&A started, baby. Alright, let's start this. First question is just, AMysta69 Hey Jedite, what are your 2 top favorite video game characters of all time? My top favorite video game characters of all time, definitely one of them that sticks out in my mind is the original Mega Man. Definitely he's one of he was my childhood heroes, definitely. You know, I remember playing this game from the NES, and I always wanted to be Mega Man when I was a little kid. When I was about 8, 9 years old, I thought being Mega Man was the coolest thing since sliced bread. I was like, yeah, I wanted to be Mega Man so bad. I wanted to go in to shoot my Mega Buster and shoot all these Megabots and all that. It was the coolest thing, you know. And Ryu was another one of my favorites. I remember Ryu from Street Fighter. I was a big Capcom mark when I was a kid. And definitely, I even had the Ryu headband. I even had the Ryu Karate G that I wore for Halloween. I even had that. I remember I had to jump. I jumped off the diving board. I used to go up and just do the jump. And I go, Hadouken! And I would do that as much as I wanted to. I was a huge fan of Ryu. Another one of my favorites is definitely Solid Snake. He's just so cool. This is his attitude. He just doesn't give a fuck, you know. He's like, there's a ladder. He's like, I'm the pawn that came here to serve your worthless butt. You know, he's just all up in your face. He just tells you like it is. He doesn't bullshit you. You know, probably my 4th favorite probably has to be Alucard, because as you know, I like anti-heroes. I'm a big mark for anti-heroes. I'm not really into the clean heroes, you know. I'm just not into them clean type heroes that just do everything good. You know, they're do-gooders. You know, they're too white for me. You know, they're too good. You know what I'm saying? They don't seem human to me. You know, when they have some evilness in them and they have some bitterness in them, it makes them more interesting. You know, and that's what Alucard was. Alucard was just like, you know, really emotionless. You know, he was just too cool for school. You know. And probably my last, I would have to say my last one of that, I'm going to have to include a fifth character. Probably have to go with, even though he's been pretty much buried for right now, his newest games have been sucking so much ass. But I have to say Sonic the Hedgehog, because he was another one of my childhood favorites. Sonic the Hedgehog was probably another one of my childhood favorites, especially with the ones on the Sega Genesis games. I was like a huge Sonic fan, and he just had such a cool attitude, and just I really marked out though. But when Sonic the Disaster came, and I was just like, that was it. Franchise. Alright, next question is from LeeYkn Hey Jedite. What are your thoughts about the Darkstalkers cartoon? Have you seen the cartoon version of Darkstalkers? I believe you're talking about the Darkstalkers anime and the cartoon version of Darkstalkers. I've seen both. I've seen both the OVA, which is Night Warriors. That was actually pretty good though. The only thing was it was only about 3 episodes or so, but it was pretty good nonetheless. And the cartoon version that we brought out here, I liked it as a kid. I haven't watched it recently, so probably if I were to watch it now, I probably would think it's corny. From what I remember, it had that kid in there or something. You had this fucking kid with like these glasses, and he would always like follow around Felicia for some reason. I don't know why. It's like for some reason they just stuck some kid heroine in there, and he's like the main hero of the story or something. You know, and they pretty much toned down Darkstalkers, you know. And Darkstalkers was like a gothic type anime that was just like, you know, in your face is bloody, you know, gothic, you know. It wasn't meant to be kiddie, so I just thought that was just, probably looking at it now, it's probably just like a bunch of fan service, you know. It was just like, just a way to get money, you know. That's just the way I feel about it. I haven't seen it lately. I believe they have DVD sets of the actual anime, no, the cartoon. I think ADV Films, put it out, I believe. I know they put it out for Mega Man, which I'm still a huge fan of. Next question is from BritishGamer Hey Jedite. I was wondering if you played the Omega or at least heard of it, or have at least heard any of the games on the system. I've heard of it, I've never owned it nor played it. I believe they have emulators for them for the PC, but I've never actually played an Omega though. I believe the Omega was actually more popular in Europe, because I've actually had a friend talk to me about this, and he was like a huge fan of it, and he's like in Europe, so they know more about it in Europe more so than in here. Because really at the time, pretty much around that time that it came out, pretty much the whole video game market was pretty much being dominated with the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis at the time. So really, I don't think really the Omega really stood a chance here. mrlunt asked me, what are your top favorite 5 RPGs that you ever played? The top 5, I have to say, are definitely the ones that stick out in my mind. Final Fantasy IV for the Super Nintendo, also known as Final Fantasy II for the Super Nintendo, Shining Force for the Sega Genesis, Phantasy Star 2, Tales of Destiny, and Pokemon Red and Blue. Yes, I was a Pokemon fan back in the day, so shoot me, okay? And because I remember playing so many hours on Pokemon Red. And, I mean, I had over 150 hours into Pokemon Red, because I got a whole 151 Pokemon. But after Gold and Silver and like all that stuff came out, it just got ridiculous. It just got to the point it was like, oh my god, how can you get that many Pokemon? I mean, it's like you have to donate your entire life to it. It's like, it's almost as bad as World of Warcraft. Seriously. Next question is from slipperymontana. Out of the new systems, Wii, PS3, Xbox360, and which do you prefer and why? As of right now, I like the 360 the most, but that's probably going to change probably coming soon, because when I get a lot of my games for the Wii, which I haven't got yet, probably the Wii is probably going to take that spot, because there's so many games out for the Wii right now that probably will kill the 360 right now, I think, in my opinion. I mean, I might sound a little of a Nintendo fanboy or biased for saying that, but there's a lot of games on that Wii system that are really good. As in the Mario Galaxy game, Knights game, Super Smash Bros. Brawl that's supposed to be coming out in 2 months, Paper Mario, Zelda, all those big title names that I was a huge fan of back in the day. So that's just right. So I just think the Wii's probably going to take that spot, and plus it's got the Virtual Console. That's an added bonus for me. So right now the 360, but pretty soon the Wii. maxmillionp. Do you think that Nintendo is pushing the WiiWare system in 2008, that we might be able to see some old games whose systems weren't supposed to be on the Virtual Console, such as Guardian Heroes? And what do you think the chances that we'll see Castlevania, Bloodlines, and Rondo of Blood on the Virtual Console? Maybe, the only way I can really see a game like Sega Saturn games coming out on the WiiWare system is that if they actually bring out a peripheral somehow, like a secondary storage device besides using like flash cards and SD cards, instead of having the internal memory inside the Wii. You need some kind of hard drive to actually store those games, because those games are way too big to fit on that Wii system though, so there's no kind of way to actually put those games within the Wii that have that many games, like a Saturn game or a TurboGrafx-16 CD game or something of that nature, because just of the sheer size of it. We're just so big, you know. So you need some kind of hard drive for the system for that to work, whether it's you plugging through USB, Wi-Fi, whatever the case might have you. And the next question is, what do you think the chances are that we might see Castlevania Bloodlines and Rondo of Blood on the Virtual Console? Castlevania Bloodlines, I would say, is a strong possibility because Genesis games are getting released on the Virtual Console. Got to give them props up for that. Rondo of Blood, maybe, maybe not, because we pretty much saw Rondo of Blood on the PSP get a release here. So that one I might not say as much, probably not, but definitely Bloodlines is probably going to be on there soon, I would say. Next question is from Sir Afro. Yo, man, I was wondering what games you just totally suck at. I mean, not the computer, it isn't the computer's fault. Lag, camera angles, unfair difficulty. Just games that you just generally can't win at. Sports games. I suck at sports games. I'm terrible at sports games. Any sports games I play, I suck. The only games I can probably have a chance of winning against somebody is probably wrestling games. That's probably it. Like when I play, when I tried to play my brother against like NFL Blitz or something, he tried to get me like to play NFL Blitz with him on Xbox or something like that. I totally got owned because I do not know how to play football. I don't even know the first thing about football. I don't even know anything about plays, like what a down is, what the fuck a play is. I'm like, okay, can you translate that in English? You know, I just completely suck at it. Like I would completely just get owned. And baseball, don't even get me started on that because the fucking AI completely cheats you out on that. Super Baseball 2020 is a fucking perfect example of that, where the fucking AI knows exactly where the ball is going to land as soon as you hit that fucking bat. Cheapest fucking AI in existence. I mean, that game would just piss me off. I don't even know why the fuck I bought that game. What the fuck? What was I thinking? Next question is Farm Mecha. I noticed that in your last Q&A you were playing your PSP lately. What's the game that got you back into it? Any games for the PSP that are coming out that look good? And what do you use? And also, do you use portables on your PSP? Because I know there's some pretty neat one out there. I've been playing the PSP lately because, as y'all know, I've been playing this lately. My Nintendo DS. I've been alternating pretty much between that and my DS. But the game that I was playing that really got me back into it was probably my favorite game on the PSP thus far is probably Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles. Finally, fully finished beating this game. Any Castlevania fan, pick that game up. That's all I gotta say. And also, any games for the PSP that are coming out that look good. Just like that one I just said, Castlevania X Dracula X Chronicles definitely is one. I would say definitely, if you're a Final Fantasy fan, definitely Crisis Core looks very promising. Final Fantasy Tactics on the PSP is really good. They just re-released the Metal Gear Portable Ops expansion to Portable Ops on that. I think they got some PSP. The PSP games look pretty good though, but I think that the DS lineup is actually beating the PSP right now. I just think that the DS actually I think has a lead over the PSP as of right now though. In my opinion. Also, do you use portables on your PSP? No, I don't actually. I have a firmware on my PSP which allows me to play like some homebrew apps and stuff like that, but I have no kind of portable things or whatever for the so that you can play, like you can actually run an operating system on your PSP. I've seen some that have like running like Windows 95, Mac OS 10 and stuff like that, but I just never really installed them on there because I just don't really see the purpose though, you know, because I already have a PC here and I already have a Mac here, you know, so I don't really see the point personally. NWO123. How do you feel about GTA 4? I feel GTA 4 is probably going to be a big, huge step up from the whole GTA formula, you know. It's going to be like the first official GTA of the next gen, you know. So we're actually going to see a big, huge step up. Probably going to be like seeing to the point that probably you can see like your character, like, you know, like you know how you got fat, like if you didn't like train or run or, you know, work out in GTA San Andreas. You know, it'll probably be even bigger than that. It'll be probably more of an expansion of that. I bet you in GTA 4, probably you run out of gas in your car. And it's probably going to be that fucking realistic eventually. So I think it's going to be a big, huge step up. It's probably going to be like, it's probably going to be just living, it's probably going to be like The Sims, you know, where you can just pretty much do everything in real life, basically. It's going to be like, just like reality. It's going to be like your own little reality show where just going around and shooting people and fucking stealing shit. You know, so I think it's going to be a huge step up. And with it being online, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be a really good game. Though. I just think I'm really looking forward to it. Next question is Keno Dobe. What do you think of the Zelda games, Oracle Seasons and Oracle Times with the Game Boy Color? I think they are perfect. To be honest with you, I never actually played those. The only one I really played on the Game Boy was actually the Link's Awakening, and that one was pretty good. That one was really good for the Game Boy regular. I didn't play any of the other Zelda games. And the next question is, do you like the 2D Zelda games or the more like the 3D ones? I like the 2D ones more, to be honest with you, because as you know, I'm a big 2D fan. I'm a big 2D mark. Even in the next gen, I actually like 2D. I just like the whole thing of 2D sprites just being drawn. You know, I just get for some reason, I just like it more, you know. When I see something that's cel-shaded or drawn out in 2D, it has a unique feel to it, you know what I'm saying? Because I see so many games out there right now that have those sort of drawn out in 3D, you know. It's becoming, like, standard now, you know. It's becoming commonplace, you know. I like that 2D feel, you know, just like with Rondo of Blood or Portrait of Ruin and stuff like that. I like those retro-style type games, you know, or the new Super Mario Brothers, you know. I just like that look to it. It just looks so retro, and it looks so unique. You know, something different from the norm. That's just what I prefer. And like I said, my favorite, as y'all know, is Link to the Past. Probably my childhood favorite of mine on the Super Nintendo. Love that game. Next question is Dan Barb, how is life in DC? Life's pretty good here. Life's pretty, you know, pretty calm. You know, nothing really big going on. You know, well, I'm actually not living in DC. I actually live between Baltimore and DC. I'm like in the metropolitan area in between. But pretty calm here, you know, it's pretty cold here, though. That's to be expected for Christmas season. It's about, I say about 20, 30 degrees out, generally in the middle of the day, you know. But it's been pretty cool here. It's been pretty peaceful, as far as I know. Next question is this Freak of Freak. He asked me, what type of games would you recommend for the SNES? I've already had Super Castlevania 4 and Mega Man X. Please only suggest games that can be easily found on eBay that aren't too expensive. I would definitely suggest Super Metroid, even though that game's about $15, $20, but the thing's definitely worth it. Street Fighter 2 is another must. Legend of the Mystical Ninja, definitely another one. Contra 3, maybe Final Fantasy 2 if you're an RPGs fan. A very underrated fighting game, but it's pretty good nonetheless. It's Fighter's History. It's a very underrated fighting game. Final Fight, another one. Definitely. What else am I missing? Final Fantasy 3, one of the best Final Fantasies out there, bar none. Let me see. Super Mario World, can't forget that. It's an all-time classic. F-Zero if you're a racing game fan. Super Mario Kart, another one. Super Punch-Out, another great one. Let me see, what else am I missing? And also, if you like Mortal Kombat's another good one too. Just some of the ones I can name off the top of my head. Okay, let's see. Next question is Goal Line 9X. What do you think will be happening to Sega in a few years' time? We have seen Nintendo and Sega working together a lot over the past few months, so do you think they will join with Nintendo? Do I think they'll totally join together with Nintendo and become one company? It could happen, but I don't see it really happening right now, though, because pretty much Sega's role right now is not really all that big right now, because we're not really seeing that many games coming out from Sega in the last few years. I mean, to be honest, Sega hasn't really been all that great in the last few years, you know. I mean, maybe aside from a few portable games that were actually pretty good, you know, like the Sonic games and stuff like that, but there's nothing really that's been really noteworthy in the last 5 years. You know, ever since, like, 2002, you know, Sega's pretty much been pretty much going down. I think, you know, they're not as big as they were. You know, the new Sonic games have pretty much just been buried with the Sonic Disaster and then Mario and Sonic and the Olympic games. I didn't play it though, but it doesn't look all that promising, to be honest. You know, so I just think that Sega's not really all that big right now, to be honest. So, you know, so I mean, it could happen, and if it does happen, hopefully their quality will pick up. But with Knights or whatever, for which I heard was really, really good, and I really want to play it, and I'm probably gonna be getting it this Christmas season. So that might be able to bring Sega up a few notches. So next question is from Dan Barb. Do you think that Streets of Rage 4 will be in 2D, and if so, which system should it be on? Most likely it'll be in 2D, because if it was in 3D, it'd probably go the same route as Sonic Streetwise, you know. So I think it should be in 2D for that purpose, because Streets of Rage is one of the kind of games that needs to be in 2D, you know. And if so, which system should it be on? I would like it to be on a next-gen console, like a 360 or something, or even like, you know, something like a 360 or something like that. But probably if it were to be on a system, as you all know, the retro systems or the retro games are going to the handheld systems. So probably, most likely, it would probably be either on the PSP or the Nintendo DS. Most likely, if they would come out in this current generation, it's probably going to come out in either of those two systems. More than likely, anyway. To be honest with you, I'm actually enjoying the portable systems more than the next-gen consoles, actually. You know, there's a lot more games that are appealing to me, actually. Next question is, this is a long question. This is from DJP14. Do you think it should be illegal to censor anime such as what 4Kids does? This includes digitally editing out blood, cutting scenes, editing the script, and even removing story arcs. I believe it messing with the art form, which is made by hardworking people. I think that all anime is too violent for a broadcast and should be put on DVD instead, or instead of turned into a bad Disney cartoon. Email me when you receive this. If you can, put it on a Q&A video. Alright, I'm going to answer this. I think what they should do is that they should actually see what the anime is and actually see what, see if it's appropriate for TV, though. I mean, they shouldn't water down anime so much so that it pretty much distorts the entire anime, you know? You shouldn't make an anime that's like a gothic-type anime at first, and then water it down so much that it's all about little green men or something. You know, that's just completely fucking ridiculous. You know, make it something that it's maybe, if you could, like, if it is appropriate for TV or whatever, or maybe all you have to do is just maybe edit out a few blood scenes or something like that, or maybe edit out some little bit of nudity here and there, you know, then that's okay, you know what I'm saying, because that's acceptable, you know. I would say, like, you know, something like Dragon Ball Z, you know what they've done with Dragon Ball Z, maybe sometimes they edit out the blood in some scenes, or when someone gets decapitated or something like that, you know, they might edit out something like that, or some of the blood, you know. But if it's something that's completely, like, not able to be even aired on TV at all, if it's all about, like, completely, like, killing people or something like that, you know, they shouldn't even air it. They should just keep it on the DVD and just leave it uncut, you know. Shouldn't even, like what they did with Yu-Gi-Oh! With 4Kids and stuff like that, they completely brutalized it. And I think they even did the same thing with Card Captor Sakura. They even did the same thing. They completely cut out episodes, and I think they cut up to, like, the 9th episode or something. They cut out the entire episode, like 8 episodes or something like that. So I think that what they should do is that the ones they should air on TV, you know, they should look at the ones that they can air on TV and make sure that the topics that they talk about and actually give a good idea from the actual people that actually made the anime, you know, what it's about and what the story arcs involved and what topics they involve, you know, maybe even preview it or something, you know, something of that sort, you know, so they can actually see what's being put on their TV set, you know, so it won't distort from the original storyline, so you won't actually distort things from the story arcs and all that stuff, you know. So, and the ones they do edit, you know, put it out on DVD uncut, you know, the way it was meant to be seen, you know. So that's just my 2 cents on that about anime censorship. Next question is from Hurting Your Feelings. What is your opinion on current fighting games and the genre itself? I think that fighting games is a dying breed right now. I mean, maybe because we're not seeing as many fighting games out, because we're getting to that point now, you know what I'm saying, it's all about, like, action games and first-person shooters and military games and PC games and real-time strategies. You know, fighting games was really a big thing back in the early to mid-90s, but pretty much after the year 2000, pretty much fighting games has become almost a thing of the past. You know, maybe we're only seeing maybe 1 or 2 fighting games every couple of years. You know, so I think the genre itself, I think it's like becoming really, really deep now. You know what I'm saying? It's becoming like especially with Virtua Fighter 5 out and Tekken 6 coming out. You know, I think it's really, really becoming a really, really deep genre. And potentially, if Street Fighter 4, I really want it to be 2D though, because that's the way it should be played, definitely. You know, I mean, even though Street Fighter EX in 3D wasn't bad, but it just wasn't that great either. It was a good game, but not great. So I think that the genre itself is becoming really, really deep and involved, you know. So I'm just really looking forward to Street Fighter 4. I'm just really looking forward to that because, as you know, I'm a Street Fighter fan. Next question is from Splatter Black Lives. Do you think that there will be a collection of the Mega Man Zero series? Not anytime soon, I don't think. Potentially, if they were to make one, you know, it'd probably be on the next portable systems, like maybe on like the next successor to the DS or something like that. Because I don't think there's going to be any way to put 4 Game Boy Advance games into a DS cart. I don't think it's going to happen, and I don't think they will put it on a next gen console either. So, if it was, it would probably be on like a future generation console or a handheld console anyway. I don't think it would be on like a DS or something. But possibly in the future, not right now though. Because right now they're pretty much focused on the Star Force series and the Mega Man ZX series. That's pretty much what their primary focus is on now. But now ask me, who are your 3 favorite anti-heroes? My favorite 3 anti-heroes definitely have to be, one of them is definitely Alucard from Saturday Night, definitely one. Another one of them is the good old Batman. Batman is probably he's one of my favorite comic book heroes. Batman. And another anti-hero of mine is definitely the Punisher. The Punisher he just owns. He just kicks fucking ass, you know. He just doesn't care. It's like he pretty much does anything by any means necessary, you know. And that's the kind of heroes I like, you know. I like those heroes that have, you know, not really are like perfectly clean, but you know, that are not perfectly bad either, you know. That pretty much do things their own way, you know. And I think that really makes a character unique, you know. You know, I'm not really big on clean heroes. Like I said before, I'm not a big clean hero fan. Next question is from T-Stick Pro. Hey Jedite, have you ever played the game Sonic Shuffle? If so, do you think it squares up with Mario Galaxy series? One thing to say about that. Fuck no, it does not. That game is like a shadow of what Mario Party is, okay? Pretty much, like, in that game, I wanted to do a review on this. I wanted to do a crappy games review on this game, because that game completely sucks. You know, it's like they pretty much took the Mario Party formula and pretty much just drove it down the toilet. I mean, before even Shadow the Hedgehog pretty much fucked things up, this game was another clusterfuck from hell. You know, this game pretty much was like, they pretty much took a bunch of mini games that weren't even fun, and then for some odd reason, they put in these freaking battle scenes, and you fight against these monsters that, you know, you fight them with cards, you know. You take, like, say this monster takes the number 2 to kill him or something like that. You need to get higher, 2 or higher, and able to kill him. For some unknown reason, you have to do those battles. And they have nothing to do with the game at all. It's like, they stick it in there. It's like, wait, what does this do? It's like, it makes no fucking sense. You know? I mean, that was truly the first bad Sonic game, in my opinion. Before Sonic Shadow the Hedgehog came out, that game was like the first Sonic. When I first played that game, when I first played on the Dreamcast, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And not only that, but the fucking characters, right? The fucking AI knows exactly what's in your deck. Them motherfuckers cheat. They will look inside your deck. They know exactly what's inside your deck. You know? And you can't do shit, you know? But you can't see what's inside their deck. It's a load of fucking bullfuck. It's stupid. I hated it. It was like, I wanted to go, right there to fucking, Sega for that. That was like pretty much where that's where I started to pretty much lose my faith in Sonic, you know? Sonic Adventure 2 brought it up a bit. Sonic Heroes was good, you know, good game, not as good as Sonic Adventure 2, but then Sonic the Hedgehog went downward spiral. I'm sorry about the little rant, but I just had to get it out of the way. I hated that fucking game. It was like pretty much like a bastardized version of Sonic Mario Party. At least Crash Bash, at least on the PS1, got it right. You know, it was a ripoff, but at least it got it right. I mean, Jesus Christ. Alright, next thing is from, let me see. Alright, here it is. Motomaster. Is Final Fantasy 1 and 2 for the PSP worth getting? And can you tell me in your own words and what you think? Final Fantasy 1 and 2 on the PSP is worth owning. I would say so if you haven't played the ones either on the Game Boy Advance or if you haven't played Origins on the PS1. Pretty much the PSP version pretty much has updated sprites, pretty much it has enlarged sprites, it has more detailed sprites, and it has more detailed backgrounds. But basically the game's pretty much the exact same. It pretty much has the same exact features that were in the Game Boy Advance version, and I believe from the Game Boy Advance version it has an extra dungeon in there. But pretty much it's the same game, you know. So if you played the ones on the Game Boy Advance or whatever, on the Game Boy Advance, Dawn of Souls, it's not really that big of a jump, you know. I mean, maybe the graphics are more advanced because it's on the PSP, it's got the bigger resolution, it's got a nice screen. But if you're I would say if you haven't played them on the Game Boy Advance beforehand, it may not be worth it if you want to pay $30 a piece for them. But if you're a Final Fantasy fan, probably a Final Fantasy fan is probably not going to be able to pass it up because, you know, it's gorgeous to look at. I'll admit that. But, you know, if you're a hardcore Final Fantasy fan, I would say yeah, but if you already played the Game Boy Advance ones and you're not really a hardcore Final Fantasy fan, I would say pass on it. Next one is from Love Gay Sex. Nice name. It's a nice name. It's fucked up. Anyway, is it just me, or Geek Squad is like the tech version of the slave plantation? $12 an hour. Are they joking? I know how you feel, buddy. I know how you feel, man. I was working as a PC tech for 2.5 years. Granted, I wasn't working for Geek Squad, but, you know, for a PC tech, they really don't pay you that much, to be honest. I was only making $11 an hour where I was at before I got this job I'm working at now, you know. So, and, you know, like, so, I mean, being a PC tech is not something you can live off your whole life, you know. I mean, it's good for an entry-level job, you know, if you want to get yourself into the IT field and make yourself maybe some more money in the long run. But I just don't think it's something that you can actually fully do for 20, 30 years, you know. It's nothing you can make a living off of. You know, and probably if you work in the Geek Squad, when you're working at the Best Buy store, I don't know if you're a servicing agent, when you go out to people's houses, or go to businesses, or if you actually service them at the store, there's a lot of bullshit you gotta put up with, especially when people don't know what they're doing. Especially when the people that you have to work their computers or whatever don't know what the hell they're doing. They're like asking you to do this, and then when you can't do something, like, or like they ask you, or you tell them the price for them to do something, they say, "What? A $30 for CD-RW drive? You kidding me? Try and fix that shit." No joke. True story. I had a guy that wanted me to fix his CDR drive because I told him $30 would be too expensive for us to replace it. He's like, "Come on, man, give me a break." You know, some of the shit you gotta put up with, and it's just it's not enough money to live off of. So, I would suggest to you, definitely, if you want to go into the IT field even further, definitely get yourself some certifications. You know, get yourself maybe you probably have your A+, but maybe go for your Network Plus, and potentially go for your Microsoft and Cisco certification, you know. Get yourself something in that better field, you know. Get yourself something higher, you know. That's just my take on that. Next question is from Evil AJ 2010. Since KOF 94 Rebout never made it here to the States, do you agree that with me that they should add the game to KOF the Orochi Saga for the PS2, then the Wii and the Wii? Since it's coming soon, if they not, they should put it on Xbox Live. What do you think? I think either one would be awesome. I think either way would be awesome, though. But probably most likely, I would love them to put it on the Xbox Live Arcade and have it online. That would be the best. You know, have it for maybe 1,000 points on Xbox Live or something. Or even if they want to put it for 1,200 points or something, you know, that's $15. That's still not bad for an Xbox Live download of that game, you know. So I think that would still be really good. So I would definitely be looking forward to that, you know. It's pretty much the only way you can play it right now is through PS2 imported, basically, right now, you know. But definitely, I would like to see that, you know. See the nice new backgrounds, and I was a huge KOF mark, you know. I think that'd be really awesome, having that shit online. Last question is from Gamix. What platforms do you think that these games are the most appropriate for? Fighting game, action games, real-time strategy, sports, first-person shooter, third-person shooter, adventure, and sandbox. For those ones, I have to go and say for fighting, probably the best fighting game console is probably the PS2, because the PS2 probably had the best controller if you're a controller fan, and also you can also get a lot of arcade stick style controllers, because, you know, like, I mean, me personally, I'm a big arcade fan, and I like using the actual arcade stick, and I just get a better feel out of it when I'm playing an arcade stick, you know. So probably I would say the PS2 for that, because it has games like Guilty Gear, it has games like KOF, like games like KOF 2000, 2001, Tekken 4, Tekken 3, not Tekken 3, Tekken 4, Tekken 5, you know, Virtua Fighter 4. For real-time strategy, probably the PC, I would say. I'm not really a big RTS fan, but probably the PC is probably the biggest thing with that, because you can actually do the whole click and point thing with the mouse or whatever. I mean, I don't think there's been that many RTS games on consoles, really. They've been mostly on PCs, really. Action games, probably right now for action games, I probably have to say the Probably the 360 as of right now, because the 360's got some really good action games out for right now. They look really impressive, you know. And the PS2 is probably second on that list. PS2 is probably another one, like God of War, you know, Shinobi, those ones. Maybe some of the ones like Sly Cooper, you know, that's more of a platform, but still more like that, you know. Next one is for sports. I can't really answer the sports one, but probably either the 360 or the PS2. I'm not really a big sports fan, you know. That's generally what they come out for, either the PS2 or the 360 most times. For the first-person shooter and third-person shooter, probably either the PC, well, PC for first-person shooters, because you can actually, the PC actually works good for the first-person shooters with the mouse and all that. Even though I'm not really a big fan of the mouse using with video games and stuff like that, but it does work for first-person shooters. You can actually get yourself a precise aim at the enemy and stuff. But, for third-person shooters, probably I would have to say the Xbox 360 or probably the PS2. Either one of those two. For adventure, I would have to say probably the PS1. I like the PS1's adventure games. I was really a big fan of the PS1's like platformer games like Crash Bandicoot, like Spyro, some of the 2D ones, 2D adventure games were really fun, like Tomba, Cahola. Those games are really fun. So I would probably have to say the PS1 on that. And Sandbox is games like, if you don't know what Sandbox means, it's games like Grand Theft Auto 3, Saints Row, True Crime. Probably Sandbox, I probably have to say the PS2 as of right now, because there's not really been that many games like that on the next-gen consoles. We've seen games like Saints Row and stuff like that, though. But I think the PS2 is probably where it's probably the king of that, because you got games like True Crime. You got all three of the Grand Theft Auto series, not including the two ones that came out for the PSP and that got ported onto the PS2. So probably that for, obviously PS2 for that. That may change with Grand Theft Auto 3, I mean Grand Theft Auto 4. That might change. Okay, so hopefully you all enjoyed this Q&A. It's probably another long one, about over 30 minutes at least. I'm going to try and post some more videos more often if I can. Like I said before, I've been working more and more lately. You know, I haven't really been having energy to do videos as of late, so I apologize for this, people. And all I can say is one thing. Merry Christmas and a happy 2008 New Year. And if you all are going out for New Year's Eve, watch out for drunk drivers and shit, because you know them crazy motherfuckers are out there trying to get behind the wheel and shit. Okay, so, alright, all y'all, peace.